really want to give me a cat in the lap, I'll take Kaylee Cuoco.
Yeah, she is a cool kitty.
I would let her sit on my lap the entire show.
Well, welcome.
I even let her talk.
I think it needs to be mentioned that this is show 4, and just so you don't think that I'm wearing the same shirt
3 weeks in a row, because I'd be 2.
Yeah, you know
this
what?
is our uniforms.
Maybe we are. And maybe
this
we
is
are.
the uniforms that we've chosen
yeah.
for these past couple of weeks now.
It's a different beer.
It's like I went to Fazoli's again.
Again, yeah. You know what? The hell with it. You know, we only care about what you think if it's positive, and you write it in the comment section. Positive.
Actually, negative stuff is all right too if you're making fun of Sean, because I will laugh.
You know,
I will enjoy those, I think.
Today's topic is something near and dear to my heart. Stupid NFL injuries.
Remember, we're doing another show now, so you have to tell them. The show is called Neutral Zone Infraction. It's like, so, you know, if you're just jumping into the middle of this and you're wondering, well, what's going on? Why are these two guys just sitting there talking? It's because we have a show.
That's right.
And
our show is
NZI.
I apologize. It's NZI, Neutral Zone Infraction. Maybe I'm not.
Well, I don't know. You've done pretty good on the other 3 shows that we've done over the other 3 weeks. But the 4th week, you kind of stumbled, buddy.
I'm not sure if I'm able to do 2 shows.
I don't know. Chris Berman, you are not. You are not.
Way fatter than me.
He is, but he's also way richer than us, and he's a lot more revered.
Like I always say, as a man, it doesn't matter what you look like. It's all about portfolio.
It's like, I don't have a portfolio.
And that's well, you got a nice car, though.
I do have a nice little car, and I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and if you told everybody that, you know, but anyway.
No, I don't want the Montana fans to know what I drive.
Greatest mediocre quarterback of all time, according to Randy. I
drive a white Ferrari.
Actually, he did drive a white Ferrari. We are going to do our show in the future. What are sports and what are not sports? And Randy did, at his own expense, just to show you that we don't pull any punches here. He went to Las Vegas on the Motor Speedway and drove a Lamborghini and
an Audi R8.
An Audi R8, but they look cool.
They're very fast.
And he, to see if that he thinks it is a motorsport already. I wasn't sure. We are going to have to upload the video. Did you upload the video?
I have the video. It has not been uploaded.
So you're just as bad as I am.
Well, I didn't do a show for that.
But I told you we were good.
Well, I know, but it's like right now we'd have a link that you don't even know how to put a link yet. So we'll figure all that stuff out later.
Yeah, this stuff may not even make it on YouTube because I don't know how to do it yet.
You'll figure it out. Just look on YouTube for how to put a video on YouTube, and there'll be a video for it. That's the amazing thing about YouTube. It'll tell you how to do.
Okay, well, I'll try that.
Now,
anyway.
the only thing is the internet works with you. Are you able to make it work? You may get hurt. You may get your own injury while typing, and then we could say stupid talk show host injuries.
You know what I have?
Sean getting carpal tunnel syndrome or pulling a ligament in a finger.
Don't mention that. Do you know what? I've been playing this game, my kid's game, and you hit W for go and the side shift. I'm getting pains right in here. I had to switch hands.
Sean, you're kind of old, buddy.
What the hell is
it's like that's
right there?
That's the WADS buttons, man. WADS.
Yeah, WADS.
WADS.
My shooter hand's okay, but what the hell? Anyway,
WADS. That's what you
so I could get that, and I do usually spill coffee when I sit at the meet. Anyway, another story. So stupid sports injuries. You know, I'm going to start with the 2 dumbest to me because they're kickers.
Absolutely.
And a kicker should never even get hurt in a game.
Never.
Never.
Ever.
Even if you roughed the kicker.
He shouldn't get hurt.
He shouldn't get hurt.
Because basically nobody ever really roughs the kicker. They just kind of run into him a little bit. And then he falls over them.
So
I think he's more in danger when he does his fake fall of hurting himself than actually being hit by somebody.
Richard Carlos used to kick the ball here in Denver in the snow, and I always thought that would hurt. Barefoot.
Yeah, barefoot.
That would hurt.
That would hurt.
But he's a kicker, and I don't care. But anyway, we got Gramatica.
Both Martin and Bill Gramatica.
And what were they doing, Randy, when they
They both were celebrating insignificant field goals. Insignificant field goals. Mediocre field goals, if you will. I love the word mediocre. So it's a great word. So mediocre field goals, and jumping in the air, little kickers, and you know how high a kicker can jump.
And they're not that heavy. They shouldn't.
Yeah, they weigh 140 pounds, and all that weight coming down on their knee toward their ACLs. Obviously, the helmets and the pads added way too much weight for what their bodies could handle, and jumping up in the air while in full pads
you know
was
what?
enough to destroy their knees.
When you say they were celebrating mediocre field goals.
Mediocre field goals.
I have this theory. I don't think there should be much kicking in football. I think the punter should go away and you get 4 downs to get where you got to go.
Absolutely.
Field position is going to play a huge part in this. Kickers, you know what? Move the extra point back. Not so I'm interested, just so that maybe they miss it once in a while. That would make our kicker very valuable because on the Broncos, he can kick him from 64 yards.
He can't kick him from 64
we maybe
yards.
should make.
But I mean, right now we're finding out that he's an alcoholic, and he has that's why he's missed 4 games.
Really?
Prater got suspended. It's different when the talk show host is an alcoholic.
I'm not an alcoholic! It's water!
I'm not an alcoholic, I'm a drunk. Alcoholics gotta go to those meetings.
Wait a minute, why do you want to disparage beer like that?
It's like he's not an alcoholic, he's a spirited drinker.
Yeah,
There
and a
you
kicker.
go. And a kicker. You could have been a kicker. You could have been Janikowski.
Oh, I would have been a good Janikowski.
You would have been a good Janikowski.
Because I'm a dick.
You're a good Janikowski.
I could have been. You know,
You could have been. You could have been. You already look like Janikowski.
I got way more hair.
You do have more hair.
It's great, but it's more. It's mine.
It's more.
mine.
But you have the same body as Janikowski. We should put some pads. You're even wearing the colors.
He's a fat. What are you saying?
I'm saying you look like.
This is the Steelers.
It's like-
Jeff, Steelers.
It's like, yeah, but it looks like Raider colors because it doesn't have
Oh my
any
God.
of the yellow anywhere.
Is it not bad enough that you were going to have the Joe Montana fans kicking your ass? You are now going to.
I'm not worried about Steeler fans kicking my ass because they're all in Pittsburgh, and the one that I do know
Can't
is
run.
hobbled by a bad hip.
He got a hip replacement.
So it's like, obviously, I'm not too worried. Most Steeler fans
And you know
are
what?
fans from the 70s.
Yes.
So they are much older than me. And if they were to chase me, I'm only going to have to be able to outrun scooter rounds and maybe a Segway here or there, because and I know I can outrun somebody in a walker. So I am confident
Yeah, I
that I
think
can pretty much outrun any Steeler fan that comes at me, unless they start throwing
We could see
teeth.
it first in the annals of sports history.
You know what they could do? They could throw the little fuzzy tennis balls on the bottom of their walkers at me, and they could do. I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're going to have much arm behind it. But
are we going to see the first in sports history where the 49ers and the Steelers team up together in a punt, pass, and kick Randy contest? Okay, back to the topic at hand. Grammatica and his brother. You know what? I have to say, kickers. I'm not a big fan of kickers. I don't like anything to do with punting and kicking, unless it's a 63-yard field goal. Speaking of Mark Grammatica, hey buddy, can you go that way? I'm recording a show here. Thanks. Yeah, bye. It's good seeing you. You didn't have to go home. You can go in the house. He's in the house. Oh, I'm going to hear about that later. Anyway, there you go. Okay, back to the topic at hand. You know, it's a live show, damn it. It is a live show. Stop licking me in front of everybody. Jesus, they're going to think stuff. Down.
what's with all the peanut butter that you have?
I just want to say that's not...
It's like, well, this is supposed to be a goofy.
I love you
this
too.
is more of a goofy topic
Okay.
anyway. It's not really an overly.
So
serious
anyway,
topic.
Grammatica, another one I have down, and I did write this, and I think it's Plaxico Burress. I love you too, baby. Plaxico Burress carried a gun into downtown New York, but he did hide it well.
He did hide it well.
And apparently he was not getting the drink he wanted at the bar and pulled it out.
But and then he shoots himself while pulling the. I don't know. I've taken gun safety before. I worked for Loomis Fargo, so I've taken the gun safety class. And basically, they tell you when you're
Did you
putting
tell
the.
everybody you were a security truck.
I drove an armored car. Armored car. I was given a gun, an armored vehicle, and little portholes that I could shoot people out of if I had to.
That's like a video game come to life.
It was.
And you had money!
I used to tell people that with my road rage, that was a CNN story waiting to happen. Some crazy guy shooting people out the portholes of his armored car
Hypothetically.
It was all hypothetical. It never happened.
No.
It never happened. I did dream about it once,
Did you
and
ever
I
sit in
seemed
the back
very
and-
happy about it.
Did
So
you ever just sit in the back and
it's just
throw
a-
the money around?
No, I was the driver.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, but I had portholes and a gun.
So you carried a gun, which
I
says
carried
to me...
a gun. There was a company willing to give me a gun. A gun.
Legally.
Why couldn't Montana have strolled by me at that point? It's like, that would have been a dumb NFL injury. I hate you, Montana, and shoot him in the knee.
Couldn't you just hit him with the truck?
That would have been fun too.
I don't think.
But the trucks are they're like 10,000 pounds.
That would have hurt him.
If I shoot him in the knee.
Do you really need to? He was only mediocre.
But I know, but you know, the greatest mediocre quarterback of all time. He was hurt by Leonard Marshall. Leonard Marshall!
Got it!
That was the name!
If you go back to another show, you'll find we were
I was
having a
saying
hard
like
time with
Gary
that.
Marshall and Penny Marshall. I don't know. I was coming
And
up with
Jim
a lot of-
Marshall, who to me
Jim
should be,
Marshall.
should be in the Hall of Fame, saying it real quick, 20 years NFL.
And he did not have an injury cut his career short.
He
That's
played
for
in
sure.
every game yeah, it's amazing. We're going to do that in another show. Anyway, so yeah, the Plaxico...
Beat the drum. That's
to
what you're
shoot-
gonna do.
I'm going to beat my drum.
Stop it.
The fact that he shot himself.
He
And I know
shot
it's not
himself because
funny.
he shot himself. No, it is funny. You shoot yourself because somebody doesn't bring you a drink. How is that going to make him bring the drink faster?
I made that up.
Oh well, you didn't know about the drink part?
I just made that up.
No, he was pissed off. He was waving the gun around because somebody was threatening him or something like that. He was waving the gun around trying to be a big man, and he shoots himself in the leg.
Wow.
And then he goes to jail. Not only did he hurt himself with his own gun in a bar, he goes to jail for it as well. This man is a genius.
And
this man has more brains.
And he could have been on our list for
He
NFL
should have shot
career.
himself in the head and it would have made a difference.
NFL career's cut short. You know, I've noticed you are. Mm-hmm. Okay, next one.
I'm all about shooting today. I was reminded of my time when I owned a gun. I once shot Joe Montana in Reno just to watch him bleed.
That's a good country song.
Well, I changed the lyrics a little bit.
I'm gonna have to say, and this obviously we're doing this because of the great Detroit Lion, Stephen Tulloch, who decided to jump up in the air.
Great. Stephen Tulloch. He had never missed a game.
Oh, in his whole career?
He had never missed a game in his whole career. He had taken hits. He's a linebacker.
How many years?
I don't know, 5 or 6, something like that. I don't have.
You know, Randy.
It might have been 2 years. I don't know. Maybe he's only.
We don't do a lot of looking into
research.
Yeah.
We just laughed.
Randy brought in a really good. He brought up a good point, and I know you're as surprised as I am. But we were talking about these guys are getting bigger,
stronger, faster. Their muscles are being they're being pushed to the limits of the human body. You can strengthen muscles. Hey, that could be part of it. You can strengthen a muscle. You can make yourself stronger. You can push your body to the limits. But the one thing is, can the ligaments take? Because is there a way to really strengthen ligaments? I mean, ligaments are just things that basically hold everything kind of in place.
I mean, I'm not a doctor. I've played one on a radio YouTube show before.
We have. It's like, but the problem is, I don't think you can strengthen. I think these guys, they build their muscles up so much and they put their bodies under such stress, and there's so much power built up, and that everything is that the ligaments of these mammoth human beings is not caught up. So they can hurt them. Because you remember 30 years ago, nobody ever got an ACL tear just running down the sidelines. But you can see that nowadays.
Well, and, nobody got in trouble for drinking too much in a bar or smoking pot or...
They were testing for it at the time.
Beating people up. Or, what's the other latest one? There's a whole bunch of them. Those guys.
Hey, there is still one feel-good story out there. The Cincinnati Bengals guy that,
That's true.
It's like his daughter had surgery this morning or maybe yesterday morning, and I guess she's doing really, really well.
Not that it's on stupid sports injuries. That's.
But it's just there's so much
bad
stuff.
Story.
Yeah, there's so much bad stuff going on in the NFL.
Here's a guy
nice
that, of all people, no offense to Paul Brown, but you don't hear, not Paul Brown, his son, Mike Brown, you don't hear a lot of great things out of Cincinnati. I mean, WKRP, the radio, that TV show was great, but you don't hear a lot of great things, and here's a guy that was put on the practice squad, and we totally went way off left base here.
We did, but we kind of did something.
But anyway,
because we're making fun of a lot of people.
And
so
this guy, here's a guy that they put on the practice squad so he could have insurance. Talk about doing the right thing in a time, look, in the NFL especially, where if you're not good enough, they just get rid of you.
Yep.
And I actually applaud the Bengals, and I'm rooting for the Bengals unless they play the Broncos. I am rooting for the Bengals and this guy to do well.
I am too.
Unless they play the
I am
Broncos.
too. And the other thing is, I wish I would have strived to be a practice squad player in the NFL because apparently they make $6,000 a week. $6,000 a week, and you don't have to travel with the team. All you do is practice Monday through Friday with them.
I guarantee you, if I made $6,000 a week, I would end up with a stupid sports injury.
I would too, but I would try to avoid it. I think the stupid sports injury would be, why is the long snapper trying to outrun a wide receiver?
Okay.
It's like, I can't help it. He challenged me to a race, and then I tore my ACL when I tried to trip him.
I remember. Yeah, did that happen? Say yes.
Did I tell? Yeah. Well, when I challenged him to the race.
Oh, okay. I
dived at him.
I thought you were talking about something that really happened that I didn't know about.
Basically, yeah. That
Okay,
really happened. I was on an NFL team, Sean. I don't know if you know this. I did play for I played for the Cincinnati Bengals during their low points.
Yeah, nobody would know.
Nobody would know. I was a long snapper. Look me up. Go ahead. Look up long snapper in the early 90s.
You don't want to give out your name.
Look up long snapper in the early 90s for the Bengals. I'm that guy, because you won't find a picture of him anyway. He was a long snapper. But that was me.
I wish I'd have come up with a player I could have been.
You could have been.
You know, I've often thought that I could trip people.
You know what? They didn't even make my jersey. That's how insignificant I was.
If they had made your jersey, what number would you be?
I'd have been a 19.
That's not even a cool number.
I like that number though. That's my number. I'd have been 19.
Like, is it slightly over age? What is great about
I like the number 19.
See,
I don't know. I like the number 19. It is a prime number.
I like numbers that are in at least the 40s and up.
Wow, we are really off topic now.
Oh, my bad.
We way went off that. What number would you want to be?
Okay,
John,
okay. So anyway, another one I got is Brian Greasy, of all things. Now, apparently Brian Greasy hurt himself going down Terrell Davis's driveway, which, according to reports, is one of the mountains up in the... It's got to be steep. It's got to be like a 50% grade.
I'm thinking it has to be, and it was snowing, I think. I think there was snow and ice, and I think a mountain lion might have even been on there.
Yeah, he was cut up pretty bad. He did a lot of bad things to himself.
He hurt himself
Apparently
pretty bad.
beer was not involved, or any alcohol at a party.
No, not a party. No, he was the sober one. He was the designated driver because it was slick mountain roads going up his driveway.
I wonder if he could have been saved by the gods that be from having a DUI that night. Not saying he did, because that would...
No, because he wasn't driving, because he wasn't under the influence. That's what he kept telling us. He was not under the influence.
But he fell down a driveway.
He was just clumsy. I don't know if you really want to... I wasn't drunk. I'm just terrible at walking.
I would just assume...
It's like I just...
You know what? I would just rather say that, look, I had a
few
too many
hill
years.
Presents a challenge for me. I'm used to playing on flat grass, and it's like once I saw something that did this, I was just... My brain said...
Was he leaving the party or going in?
He was leaving.
So it was a downhill.
It was a downhill thing. Well, it's one of those things. It's like, you know how when you miss a step, you don't expect it. So maybe he thought it was level, and then he just, and then I could see that.
Totally. Didn't he get hurt by tripping over his dog?
He got hurt in many ways.
I think he
hurt the Broncos too by being our quarterback.
And he's a good announcer though.
He's a good announcer. Although he does have, let's give credit to Brian Greasy for one thing, and this was an injury that he had. Remember when he separated his shoulder in that Raiders game?
Yes.
And we came back in that game to win. We were getting destroyed, and Brian Greasy, with a bum shoulder, brought us back to beat the hated Raiders. And for that, I may make fun of you, Brian Greasy, but I do like you because you beat the Raiders.
And that is important.
On a comeback with an injury.
It shows toughness.
And obviously, he's probably used to having lots of injuries, falling down, hurting himself, so he just says, I'm used to this. I wonder how his dad thinks of him. I wonder if Bob would ever drank with him.
I think he's very proud.
Very proud.
Well, he won this national championship at Michigan, a shared national championship with Nebraska, which I would have loved to have seen that game. I think that would have been good, but now we don't do that. We got another one here, and this is tough. This is about as dumb as you can get. Dumber than celebrating a sack and getting your knee tore up. Dumber than hurting your knee and being a kicker of all things. Dumber than... It's pretty dumb. Now, this is Gus Farad.
Gus, and that one we all witnessed.
We watched it!
We watched it happen, and he was celebrating a touchdown.
He ran, great touchdown, and as it's happening, you're thinking, you know, I'm drinking quite a bit here, and I wouldn't even run my head into a wall. What is he doing? All the things, can the NFL say that concussions are actually...
due to player stupidity. But think of it this way, that wall was padded.
It was padded.
He was wearing a helmet.
He was.
How hard did he slam his head?
He hurt his neck, didn't he?
He did an amazing job hurting himself with all the protective pads that were around him. This is a man who could have hurt himself with a straitjacket on in a padded room. He could still find a way to hurt himself.
He really could have.
It's like